But more likely than not, the best thing to do is to simply keep that goal to yourself. Don't tell people that you're going to go out and achieve something prior to initiating action toward that goal, because in fact, the positive feedback that we get will diminish the probability that we will continually pursue that goal in a way that allows us to achieve it.
Welcome back to Biohacking Insights. In today's video, Dr. Andrew Huberman explains why you should never reveal your next move. So how can you stop sharing your plans and goals? More importantly, what should you do instead? How can you stay motivated to achieve your goals without telling anyone, as Andrew Huberman recommends? Let's find out.
However, the scientific data tell us that if we inform people around us that, for instance, we are going to write a book, or that we're going to start a podcast, or that we are going to run a marathon, or whatever it happens to be, more often than not, we get feedback that is generally positive in form. I think that's good and to be expected. And yet the data tell us that the positive feedback that we get from others when we announce that we're going after a goal activate certain reward systems and motivation systems within our brain that then quickly dissipate and then diminish the probability that we'll engage in the type of behaviors that actually lead us to achieve that goal.
Dr. Andrew Huberman is one of the greatest in the neuroscience world, and he finally spills the tea on achieving success. You might think telling everyone about your goals is the way to go. Score some positive reinforcement. Get that "you got this" pep talk from your friends. But science says all that chatter might actually sabotage your chances. See, Dr. Huberman knows a thing or two about what makes people tick. He's a success story himself, and he studied the brains of countless high achievers. And guess what he found? Bragging about your goals can be a big motivation killer. It sounds crazy, right? Well, it's really not. Because here's how it works. When you announce your plans to the world, your brain gets a little taste of that sweet achievement unlocked feeling. The problem is, that little taste can zap your drive to actually do the hard work required to reach the finish line. So why does bragging zap your motivation? If you're finding this content helpful, please leave a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more in-depth insights and tips. Watch till the end to discover what you should really do instead of announcing your goals.
So we have the post-it fallacy, and we have the myth of accountability fallacy within the context of goal pursuit. I'm saying don't tell people that you're going to go out and achieve something prior to initiating action toward that goal.
According to Dr. Huberman, our brains have a built-in reward system. When we tell everyone about our goals and get that "you got this" cheer, it activates those reward centers, like a mini victory lap in your head. Sounds really good on the surface, but that little reward can trick your brain into thinking you've already achieved your goal, making the actual work seem less exciting. It's like getting a trophy before the game even starts. So Dr. Huberman identifies two culprits: the positivity fallacy and the myth of accountability fallacy. Now, don't let the fancy terms scare you. Here's the gist. The positivity fallacy is the idea that simply announcing your goals is enough. It's not. And the myth of accountability fallacy is assuming that telling everyone holds you accountable, when in reality, all that praise can actually weaken your motivation. Now, don't get us wrong. Accountability is awesome. Holding yourself and others responsible is a great way to stay on track. But Dr. Huberman is pinpointing a specific situation, telling people about your goals before you take action. The pre-game praise can actually backfire, making the actual work feel less necessary. So what if you use that pre-game praise against you? Maybe you could tell someone who doubts you about your goal, right? You wouldn't get that "you got this," but more like "yeah, right." That might actually light a fire under you. The idea of proving them wrong could activate that friction circuitry in your brain, the part that makes you want to overcome challenges. Sounds good in theory, but here's the catch. Finding someone who genuinely doubts you can be tough, and their negativity might mess with your whole plan.
Then, of course, you have to find someone who doesn't believe in you. You have to get them to tell you they don't believe in you. And that could have all sorts of deleterious psychological effects that might undermine the goal pursuit process and other things as well. So if you are lucky enough to know somebody who doubts you, go ahead, tell them that you want to pursue your specific priority goal. But more likely than not, the best thing to do is to simply keep that goal to yourself.
While proving the doubters wrong can work, it's not exactly practical for most people. Plus, you gotta be careful not to surround yourself with negativity. So the best advice, keep your goals to yourself. Except maybe for logistical details like telling your family you'll be unavailable for morning workouts. Skip the "don't tell the world" announcement and just tell yourself. Believe in yourself and watch your motivation soar. So what's the secret sauce instead of telling everyone?
In fact, I would suggest that the more time you can spend with that 1 or 2 or 3 sheets of paper where you defined the goal, the specific actions that you're going to take, how you're going to measure progress, the higher the probability that you will achieve that goal.
Dr. Huberman suggests getting cozy with a pen and paper. The more time you spend mapping out your goals, the specific steps you'll take, and how you'll track progress, the better your chances of success. It's like creating a personal roadmap, way more powerful than announcing your destination to the whole world. That accountability myth we talked about. But why does this quiet planning strategy might be the secret weapon you need to achieve your dreams? Well, as we said, this is a roadmap. It doesn't just show your destination. It reveals every twist, turn, and potential detours along the way. Dr. Huberman suggests this is exactly what you need for your goals. By spending time mapping them out, you'll not just be stating your desires, you're actively strategizing how to get there. This translates to breaking down your goals into clear, actionable steps. It's the difference between saying, "I want to write a book," and outlining specific chapters, daily word counts, and research plans. This meticulous planning does more than just clarify your path. It activates a powerful psychological phenomenon known as the implementation intention. When you write down your goals and specific actions, you're essentially pre-committing yourself. This mental rehearsal strengthens neural pathways in your brain, making it easier to translate those plans into actual behavior. Furthermore, the act of physically writing things down engages different parts of your brain compared to simply thinking about them. This deeper processing leads to better memory encoding and retrieval. When you revisit your roadmap regularly, you're essentially reminding yourself of the why behind your goals, boosting motivation and keeping you focused on the prize.
What the "don't tell the world" rule is really about is not getting the kind of dopamine and other forms of neurochemical reward that come from just simply saying that you're going to pursue a goal, because as you'll soon learn, that dopamine and other molecules too, of course, are going to be critically important, not just for initiating the sorts of actions required to achieve your goals, but for re-engaging and constantly updating your strategy to ensure that you reach your goals.
So in the end, Dr. Huberman's "don't tell the world" rule might seem like a rigid principle, but it's more about timing and intention than a complete social media blackout. The thing is, to know the role of dopamine and other neurochemicals in goal pursuit. While announcing your goals to the world can feel motivating in the moment, it triggers a release of dopamine. This early reward can be a double-edged sword. It can create a false sense of accomplishment, tricking your brain into thinking you've already achieved something. This can actually decrease your drive to put in the hard work required for long-term success. So sharing your goals with a trusted confidant can be valuable. This person isn't there for the initial dopamine rush, but rather for genuine support and accountability. They can celebrate your wins without diminishing your motivation, acting as a cheerleader who helps you stay focused on the journey. However, this confidant should be chosen carefully. Someone overly critical can be demotivating, while someone who simply offers empty praise can fall into the same trap as the "don't tell the world" concept warns against. The true power of the rule lies in the quiet planning phase. When you map out your goals and strategies without the fanfare, you can focus on the how instead of the what if. This allows you to redefine your approach, identify potential roadblocks, and create a more realistic roadmap to success. The importance of dopamine doesn't disappear. It plays an equally important role later on in the goal pursuit process. As you achieve milestones and overcome challenges, those dopamine hits become crucial for re-engagement. When you hit a plateau or face setbacks, that dopamine reward reinforces your commitment and motivates you to keep pushing forward. So while Dr. Huberman suggests keeping your goals initially quiet, it's not a black and white rule. Choose your confidants wisely. Focus on the strategic planning phase, and remember that dopamine will be your ally throughout your journey, just not for the initial starting pistol.